Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Net to Clutter, Sim to Simplicity. I am Raff.
And I'm Anastasia, and today we want to talk about small space living. So let's set the stage. So I'm in a one bedroom with a husband, a 2-year-old, and a husky. The one bedroom is quite small, it's a new condo building, so it's 540 square feet or about 50 square meters. In Urafi, you're in a two bedroom, two bathroom condo that's 915 square feet or 85 square meters. You have your family visit, and your mom and your sister, and so they appreciate some space, which I think is nice because they come for a really long time. Okay, so now that we set the stage, now are you happy in your space and could you go smaller or bigger?
So that's a two-parter. I am very happy in my space and I can go smaller. I think I can lose the second bathroom because
Oh,
I think one bathroom, two bedrooms would be the way to go and
mm-hmm,
go a little bit smaller. I feel that my sweet spot is 75 square meters, 800 square feet or something
mm-hmm.
like that. I'm not good with the square feet.
Yeah,
It's
me
it
neither.
I would go down 10 square meters. It may not seem a lot to some people if you live in a big house, but when you live in a small condo, 10 square meters is a lot.
That's true. I'm also very happy in my space. And I was thinking, I'm going to say something that's not super positive, but I'm going to say it.
Okay.
We try to keep this podcast really positive and light. However, we do obviously get negativity, even from our close friends and family,
Mm-hmm.
about our lifestyle or what we're doing or how we're conducting our life. So, because I have a husband, and a small child and a dog, and it's a small one bedroom, we work from home as well. So my husband and I were basically back to back.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, we've received a lot of comments, and we're still receiving a lot of comments about our living situation. And I was thinking about, like, why does it hurt me, or why does it make me kind of feel sad a little bit? And the reason is because I'm so proud of the life that I've intentionally built with
Mm-hmm.
my husband, that to me, I'm in a such loving and beautiful space and place. And so when people are like, oh, something's wrong with your living situation, I feel like taken aback because I'm so happy, right? And I'm so content, and this is what I've built with my hands. Like, I everything that is around me was taken in my life with so much intention. So I'm very happy. My dream life is to live in a tiny home,
Mm-hmm.
um, which would hopefully have like a some backyard or front yard situation. So I like my space to be small, but because we spend so much time outside, I think I would like a yard
Mm-hmm.
situation where my dog and my child and us, we can just like run freely.
Do you have a number in your head of the size of the tiny house?
I think they come in like a few different standards.
Mm-hmm.
One that you can take on the road with you, and then one that's stationary. I'm happy with the one you can take on the road. That's like legal for Canadian roads and
Mm-hmm.
North American roads.
And it would be more than 50 square meters, or you would keep
I
the
I don't
50
I
square
don't
meters?
know how
It,
much it is, but I think it's definitely significantly smaller than 50 square meters, because it's basically a small box that you can put on like a
right,
little
yes.
trailer
Yeah.
and then be mobile, and I kind of really like that.
I really like so when I chose the condo, I was it was not so much the size of it, but it was the layout. The layout is very important to me and it
Hmm.
needs to make sense. And from all the condos that we had available, I chose the one that had a pantry because
Mm-hmm.
I thought this is important to have storage space for the food and all that and not have it
Mm-hmm.
in the kitchen. So
Mm-hmm.
if you have the possibility of having a pantry, that's what I went with. Also
Mm.
because it's a square and I like that layout.
Yes, that's
Yes.
why I went with my apartment. Yes. Okay, so why do small spaces feel so freeing for some people and claustrophobic for others? Why do you think?
So As we talk a lot about in this podcast, everyone is in their own journey
Yeah.
in based on past experiences, all the good and bad baggage we carry. Uh, I'm going to talk about my experience.
Yeah.
When I downsized from my house to my condo, I edited some of my belongings, I decluttered some things, but I wanted to bring some of the furniture in to see what would best fit. And in the beginning, I felt claustrophobic because I
Oh.
had the furniture of a house in a small condo.
Oh
As I
yeah.
started to, declutter and sell some stuff and donate some stuff, now I'm in a sweet spot. So I believe the answer for me is that when you go to a small space, but you have the furniture of a big space, that's when you feel
Mm-hmm.
claustrophobic.
It exactly same thing happened to us. We were in a one bedroom before, but it was in an old building, and old
Mm-hmm.
buildings used to have like massive rooms before, right? So we were
Mm-hmm.
in a one bedroom, but it was like a three bedroom kind of size.
Right.
And then so yeah, when we put all of our like furniture in this tiny little condo, it was so funny because it literally felt like a cartoon. You know, like Alice in Wonderland or something, where like the couch takes the entire space of like the kitchen and the living room and it blocks the entryway into the bedroom. It was hilarious.
The flow is very
Mm.
important to me.
Yes.
Look said there's this traffic, like, okay, for me to get to the kitchen, I
Mm.
don't like, and I did that before in previous places that I lived. I would have to make detours because of furniture.
Yes.
Maybe that's why in a previous episode we talked so much about the coffee table. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't like, I like the
Yes.
flow to be free. Like, okay,
Same.
from the kitchen to the living room, it goes
Yeah.
like this. From
Yes.
the bathroom, it goes like this. Yeah.
And I have my son and my dog as like quality assurance or like user
There you go.
experience kind of thing. Because when they run, I can see their trajectory, like how they're running.
Yeah, I was watching the new episode of a YouTube channel that I like that is called Never Too Small, where they feature small houses or small condos. And usually, what happens is people don't have a lot of belongings because they're limited by their space, like I was.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I edited most of my things because it wouldn't fit my living.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
then the last episode, it was a collector, is an owner of a thrift store, and he lives
Mm-hmm.
above the store in Australia, and he has a lot of things. And
Mm-hmm.
then I saw it, and I was like, oh, okay. So it really depends on the person
Yeah.
because he really likes the object he has because he is a collector. So he found ways to have. I would not be able to live like he lives, but
Mm-hmm.
he's very happy.
Yeah, there's two sides to it, I think. I also follow like this girl on YouTube. She's a pastry chef in Paris, and she lives in
Hmm.
a tiny apartment downtown Paris, with all of her pastry stuff, right? And so her husband and her, they kind of got rid of a lot of their clothes to fit all her pastry things because it's super, super tiny. And everything is very tasteful and it's crammed, but it also feels like you're in kind of like this tiny little museum almost. Like everything is very vintage, very tasteful, right? Like kind of, it's interesting. Um, but then the other side, I think why many people might feel claustrophobic in small spaces is because then they're confronted by all of their things, all of the stuff that they have. And I think it's that confrontation that a lot of people just don't want to deal with
Yeah.
because it kind of exposes them.
Yeah. And one thing that it's important when you are downsizing, your things, your belongings are a reflection of who you are. Even if you should not tie your identity to your things. We do that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's important when you are downsizing, this happened for me, you now need to live the life of the person you are in the present moment and
Mm-hmm.
not the person you were before. So
Mm-hmm.
staying with the furniture, keeping the clothes, and
Mm-hmm.
keeping the things that no longer serve me now,
Mm-hmm.
they serve the person I was before. I'm not that person anymore.
Yeah. So one quote that you and I really liked almost at the same time, because you sent it to me and I was like, oh, I just saw it and I loved it, is by a few different minimalists in the
Hmm.
community, but both of them said basically, um, make sure that your home is a spa, not a storage unit.
Hmm.
And we both really love that, right? Like that encapsulates what we're
Yeah.
trying to build in our life. And then, so what do you do to ensure that your space feels like a spa and not like
Yeah.
a storage unit?
We talked about in a previous episode, hygge.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty much making your house or your condo as cozy as possible for you.
Mm-hmm.
So candles, music,
Mm-hmm.
different textures. I have a sofa with a throw, and just like essential oils, kind of making your house feel like a sanctuary. And because I work hybridly, so I work
Mm-hmm.
more days from home than from the office, I'm in my condo a lot,
Mm-hmm.
right? So
Yeah.
yeah, you have to love where you live.
I think a huge part of it too is keeping the space tidy and clean.
Yes.
And I think where like a good measurement that you've achieved your perfect home is when you've removed enough stuff to the point where you're not stressed
Hmm.
and not thinking about cleaning and tidying all the time,
True.
that you're just like, okay, my space is good as is, and then once in a while I'll like dust or vacuum or whatever, but it can't be like a massive stressor. And so I think decluttering is a massive part of that. You need to declutter until you walk into your home and then you're like, okay, this is where I come to relax and not where I come to work, to do the dishes, to wash the floor, to God knows what.
If it takes more than 5 or 10 minutes to tidy everything and clean everything up, I feel like you have too much stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because it should not be, oh my God, I'm gonna spend the entire day cleaning my place because I have to dust all my belongings and all. Yeah, it
I
shouldn't
always
should be
tell
quick.
I always tell everyone, if you're in your life right now where you're like, oh, I need more storage bins or I need more storage anything, I'm like, you have too much stuff.
Or you need a storage unit,
Or
right?
you need a storage unit.
You need to
That
rent
means
a
you have too
place.
much stuff.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Can living small actually expand other parts of your life?
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you focus on what truly matters, which is not your stuff,
Mm-hmm.
when you live small, you have your favorite things.
Mm-hmm.
To me, everything I have is a 9 or a 10, or it goes,
Mm-hmm.
right? The minimalist rule, 9 or 10, or goodbye. So you can focus on the other things that are more important than your own things, right? The experiences, living life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we spend very little amount of time in our living space. Um, and it encourages us to think of other things to do. The condo where I live, the condo building, we have like 6 lounges, we have a sauna, we have a co-working space, and then because I live centrally, there's so many different things that are accessible to us, so we're always like, oh, should we go to a farm, should we go to a museum, should we do this, should we do that? Like, it's expanded our life so much, versus I know a lot of people who buy homes and they're big, and their mortgage is big, and so they're like, well, I can't afford to do anything else, all I can do is to afford to sit in my big beautiful home all by myself.
Hmm. Yeah, exactly. Or spending your entire weekend maintaining the house.
Oh,
Because that's what I did when I had a house.
yeah.
My entire weekend was gardening, painting, fixing something, and then
Yeah.
I didn't do anything else.
And I think it's fair to comment on this and to say that it does bring joy to some people.
Of course,
Yeah.
of course.
And so that's just the choices that you and I made.
Exactly. It's a personal journey, right?
Hmm.
Wherever you are in your personal journey, like I we always say, this podcast, you take
Hmm.
what resonates with you,
Hmm.
right? And you leave everything else behind.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Okay, what's your one favorite thing about small space living?
I have so many favorite things about
Hmm.
living small. I
Hmm.
think the main one, and I'm very happy about that, is the stress-free
Hmm.
environment where, okay, so I'm gonna clean my condo now. It takes about an hour to go through every single thing.
Hmm.
And the floor, the vacuuming, the mopping, the whole thing, and we're done. and then I have the rest of the day to just do other things, right? The non-maintenance aspect
Mm-hmm.
of, and that also helps because I'm renting, I don't own. So
Mm-hmm.
if something is wrong with the condo, I there's an app, and then I click on the app and someone comes and they fix it. It's the perfect size for me where I am in my life right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, same with me. I like how accessible everything is and that I know where everything is too. I never like lose things and I'm like, oh, where could that thing have gone? It doesn't happen. But we actually had a fire alarm
Okay.
recently, which is funny because it goes to a few different episodes where we talk about fire and kind of that situation. So this was a real fire alarm.
Okay.
It was at 10:30 p.m. and it was a bit stressful, because we live on the 20th floor with a small child who was sleeping for a few hours by that point and a dog. And um, what was supposed to be quite a stressful thing was still a little bit stressful, but not as much as I thought, because what I found myself doing is I was standing in one spot in my bedroom and I grabbed our documents and I grabbed my baby's clothes pretty much at the same time with just like two
Mm-hmm.
hands.
Mm-hmm.
And then we were able to dress him quickly and leave with all of our passports and everything. And I was like, I literally, like, in that moment, I was like, whoa. Like, what? I just grabbed everything I needed to safely and securely leave the space. And it kind of blew my mind because I forget about all the benefits of small space living, and then I didn't get reminded. And it
And
was really cool.
yeah, and previous listeners of this podcast will remember that we had an episode about the emotional blocks and all that.
Yeah.
And I remember that after that episode, I went through all of it, like all the
Oh yeah.
documents, because you were
Yeah.
making fun of me. Okay, so how are you gonna, if there's a fire,
Yeah.
how many boxes are you coming out with? And now
Yeah.
all my documents, everything is in one folder, and the
Yeah.
folder is right next to the door. So it just,
Yeah.
it's interesting how this podcast is also changing our lives for the better.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm
Absolutely.
very happy about that.
I'm very happy about that, and I can't wait to talk about it in our last episode, like how
Yes,
this podcast has changed.
the one we're gonna be
We're gonna
elegantly
be really
dressed.
pretty.
Yes. All right, everyone. Thank you very much for tuning into this week's episode. Anastasia, what do our listeners and viewers should do in their comment section?
Okay, guys, let us know in the comment section. Would you ever downsize?
Don't forget to find us on YouTube, Spotify, or Apple Podcasts. Until next time on Net to Clutter, Sim to Simplicity, or we cut through the chaos and help you simplify life, work, and everything in between.
Bye.
Bye.
Oi.
Yeah.
Oh, there we
Yeah.
go. It's race weekend.
Okay.
Exciting.